In 2018, I was able to travel to Benin in West Africa, and I was able to see many of the West African sculptures, the Walloon sculptures, in their original context. So, I was able to see the Boggio, see the different rituals, and experience these not in a museum on a pedestal, but be a part of a fully multi-sensory experience. So the libation of sipping a sip of alcohol or chewing on a piece of cola nut, the dancing, the sound, the smells, the fragrant materials. It's very immersive. So right now, I didn't want to make a still life of those pieces. I didn't really want to just recreate the visuals of them because I wanted to respect them for what they are. But here I use the aesthetic of the Boggio sculptures and of that kind of amalgamation and the rich patinas on the surface, the texture on the objects. And even though I pulled from the roadside memorials and referencing all the ways that Black lives have been offered for the sake of white supremacy, for the sake of capital, the way that the Black body is always, or the way that capital has always used death and Black death. So kind of exploring that, but also looking to practices that were built to protect and to empower and remember those who have passed on and call them to protect them. For example, the toys and the teddy bears and the plastic flowers, these are things that are usually found within roadside memorials. When someone has tragically lost their lives, people will come and place these objects almost as an altar to their loved ones. So it's referencing these, but also I'm using other processes that come out of the African diaspora in the South. For example, the shells. So there's a process that comes from the Congo region of incorporating objects that come from the sea and placing them near a grave site, because the spirit world is tied to the ocean. It's called Kalunga. So incorporating these shells kind of references, the spirit jugs, it references these ways to memorialize your loved one. And also there's a process, or not a process, but there's design elements called Ezekiel's Will that references the biblical narrative, but also is tied into West African spirituality. I'm also injecting nails into the sculpture, so that on the one hand it ties to Nkisi, because the Nkisi incorporate the nails, but also thinking about Ogun and thinking about how Ogun is tied to these different revolutionary aspects of liberation throughout the diaspora. And also incorporated bells. These are a big part of the art making that happens in Benin. It's something that they're known for. The ritual element is really a part of the collage and the assemblage, because the process of making becomes a part of the meaning of the work. It came from a song, and it really made me think about this process of how people are handling mourning, and how people are processing it. So singing and marching with yesterday's coffin on their heads really just struck me as a really powerful image, because there's a power and triumph in fighting for justice. And it doesn't sound mournful, it doesn't sound passive, it doesn't sound like someone who is a victim. You know, it's an active language about moving and singing and marching, yet doing it in the name of all those who have been murdered by the state. So it was a really powerful lyric that just stuck to my head, so I wanted to incorporate it into this work.